voice of the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 10th day, I'm losing track now. Wednesday, the 10th day of February 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Again, those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. If you're a pedestrian, if you're a cyclist, if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, please ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Walk defensively, ride defensively, drive defensively. Follow all of the rules, and the life that you save may simply be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, and when you listen to the obituaries in Radio Cayman, you know, we're hearing more and more people who are unfortunately passing away. So those of you who have lost loved ones, we again want to extend our sincere condolences to you, and we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and the memories of your loved ones will also help to sustain you. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. Of course, if you don't like to talk on the telephone, then email us at For the Record, one word, For the Record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Today being Wednesday, we will have Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, in the studio with us later on this morning as well. So we look forward to that. Meanwhile, I will share important information with you as it relates to various things, starting with the COVID-19 update for the 9th of February, yesterday, the 9th of February, 2021. And the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reported that 271 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since it was last reported on Monday, the 8th of February. All of those 271 tests proved negative. They were all negative. They also added that the number of persons in isolation, either at a government facility or in their homes as required by the medical officer for health, is now at 730. The total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date, the number of vaccines that have been administered to date, is 14,086. That was up until yesterday. 14,086, with 5,174 persons having completed the 2-dose course so far. So over 5,174 persons have completed the 2 doses so far. Total of 14,086. This was up until yesterday. Persons had been vaccinated, and out of those 14,000, 5,000 completed their 2 shots as it stands. So that is good. I believe on Saturday at Owen Roberts International Airport, I think the number was over 700 persons that were vaccinated at that point in time. That seems to be pretty good, and we hope that individuals will continue to respond positively to the call to be vaccinated as well. As far as today's schedule is concerned for vaccination, so if you are 60 plus years, you may get your dose 1 at any of the published vaccination clinic times. So if you're over 60, you can go to any of these at the published times. So it's going to be important for you to know what time your surname falls under, the alphabet group that your name falls under. So for today, in Northside, from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. for the second dose, surnames A to F. 10 to 11, G to N. 11 to 12, O to Z. That is dose number 2. But remember, if you are 60 years and over, you may get dose 1, the first dose, at any of the published vaccination clinic times. So at any of those times, if you're in group, if you're 60 plus, you can go and have it done. For Owen Roberts International Airport today, 9 to 10, it is A to D, dose 2. 10 to 11, it is E to G. 11 to 12, it is H to M. 1 to 2, it is N to Z. So you can go to the Owen Roberts International Airport between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., but you would want to follow the alphabetical order in order of surname. 9 o'clock, again, I will repeat, A to F. 10 o'clock, G to N. 11 o'clock, O to Z. Sorry, that was Northside. Owen Roberts International Airport, 9 to 10, A to D, 10 to 11, E to G, 11 to 12, H to M, 1 to 2, N to Z. And I'm going to repeat again. If you are over 60 years plus, 60 years and over, you may get dose number one, at any of the published vaccination clinic times. Over 60, you can go at any of those published times and you can have your vaccination done if you are over 60. And remember, once you get your first dose, you will be given that card, and that card will indicate on there the date for you to take your second dose as well. That will be indicated on there. And again, for those of you who are interested in knowing this, in the Cayman Islands, 14,086 vaccines have been administered so far. And out of those 14,086, 5,174 persons have completed the 2-dose course so far. That is important. What else can we share with you in relation to things? This one has to do more with elections, but I will point this out as well. This is a press release that was issued. Canvassers reminded to exercise quarantine caution. Public are reminded that households undertaking COVID-19 quarantine should not be approached by unauthorized individuals, including friends and family, delivery personnel, or political canvassers. Individuals who are quarantining at their chosen residence should advise anyone who approaches the household that they are observing quarantine protocols and refuse entry. The systems we have in place to protect those who quarantine at residence have so far been working well in keeping the general population safe. However, it is important that we all do not lose sight of the potential risk that still exists, and we continue to each do our part in helping to keep the community safe from COVID-19. This is a quote given by the Director of Travel, Cayman, Dr. Tasha Ebanks Garcia. In the lead up to the next general election in May, we naturally expect to see more people canvassing houses, hoping to speak to electorates. As with many things in recent times, canvassers must exercise additional caution and consideration this year to protect everyone from the COVID-19 pandemic, said Mr. Wesley Howell, Supervisor of Elections. According to Dr. Ebanks Garcia, anyone attempting to approach a household are advised to take extra care. It may not be obvious from the outside that a household is in quarantine. There are simple practical steps which we can take to keep everyone safe, such as asking if anyone is in quarantine before making face-to-face contact or entering a home and respecting their response. A face mask may be worn, particularly when visiting the elderly, and frequent hand washing is strongly advised as well. There's more to this, but we have to go to our commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, I will share the remainder of this release with you also.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Wilfred Gillis Connolly, 1894 to 1942. Wilfred Gillis Connolly, born and raised in East End, is remembered as a generous, honest, and well-respected gentleman, For many years, he owned and operated a small mercantile business in East End. He was also a farmer and vestryman. In the late 1930s, Mr. Connolly closed his business and went to sea with the Merchant Marine. During World War II, in 1942, his ship was torpedoed and he lost his life.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
As we ride the hamster wheel, scampering along the treadmill of living, we try to reset to this new normal, this new life. Where getting away is staying right here. Where vacation is staycation, staying safe. Where focus is surviving minutes, hours, days of anxiety. Step away and say hello to the latest exhibition of the National Gallery. Say hello to Alchemy by Cayman's premier sculptor, native son Horacio Esteban. Lose yourself in moments of geology meeting history, meeting botany, meeting zoology, meeting art. Where Caymanite and coral and unearthed cedar of thousands of years strike a pose in art. Bring your family. Leave your stress at the doors. Wellness, renewal, mental peppermint. Alchemy at the National Gallery, supported by Rotary Central Community Service. Rotary opens opportunities.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today, it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vamt Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vamt Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vampt Motors on Walkers Road.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio yet, but Mr. Kenneth Bryan will be joining us later this morning. So the press release was issued reminding canvassers to exercise quarantine caution, and I shared with you comments that were made by Dr. Tasha Ebanks Garcia, who is the Director of Travel Cayman, also by Mr. Wesley Howell, the Supervisor of Elections. And again, I will share the quote from Mr. Wesley Howell. This one first. According to Dr. Ebanks Garcia, anyone attempting to approach a household are advised to take extra care. It may not be obvious from the outside that a household is in quarantine. There are simple practical steps which can be taken to keep everyone safe, such as asking if anyone is in quarantine before making face-to-face contact or entering a home, and respecting their response. A face mask may be worn, particularly when visiting the elderly, and frequent hand washing is strongly advised. Public and those in quarantine are reminded that anyone found to be in breach of the mandatory quarantine provisions will be warned for intended prosecution and is liable on conviction to a fine of up to $10,000 and imprisonment of up to 2 years. So again, that is a reminder of what is to be done. And Mr. Wesley Howell is quoted as saying that in the lead up to the next general election in May, we naturally expect to see more persons canvassing houses hoping to speak to the electorate. As with many things in recent times, canvassers must exercise additional caution and consideration this year to protect everyone from COVID-19 pandemic. That's a quote attributed to Mr. Wesley Howell as well. So it is important, extremely important, for you to ensure that when you're visiting someone's house to canvass them, and I'm made to understand that there may be some polling going on as well, whether or not that is online or by telephone, or whether or not people are visiting homes to take polls. If that is being done, again, people need to exercise caution in doing so. There is no way, I don't believe that there's any way that, and we shouldn't expect households to put up any sort of a sign indicating that they're in quarantine. That may be more negative than positive, to the extent that it may tend to stigmatize the families. So if you're visiting someone who you are not related to, someone who you don't know anything about, but you're just simply going there to try to proposition them in some way, whether or not it's to vote for a particular candidate or to ask questions, you need to really pay that sort of respect to those persons, and you should really think twice about visiting anyone that you do not know. And if you do, you should be wearing a mask, and you should ask questions as to whether or not they're in quarantine. One caller. Let's go to the phone lines before 8 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Osip.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just a quick comment. Now, I know when they used to have illnesses on board ships, etc., when they have cars that are derelict that need to be moved, they put a sticker on it or a flag up or something. Is there not something we can do to dwellings that have been cleared to be used as quarantine, so that anyone approaching the house would automatically know that the people there are in quarantine?
Well, I would say if it's a government designated facility that is being used for that purpose, then yes, maybe that would be the case. But I would be hesitant about unless people wanted to do it voluntarily. I would be hesitant about private dwellings having to identify as such.
Okay. All right. I didn't want to take much of your time, but just thought it was worth a comment.
Thank you very much. It certainly is. It certainly is worth it, as well. Thank you
Have
for
a good
that.
day. Bye.
What else can I mention in relation to this? Oh, yes. Turks and Caicos Islands, February the 19th, their general elections are scheduled to be held. The last time I read a newspaper, online newspaper, Turks and Caicos, they were mulling the fact that based on the increase in the number of COVID-19 cases, that there was the possibility that they may have to postpone their elections. They hadn't decided when I last read, but they were mulling the possibility of having to postpone the elections. I think they could legally postpone them until March. And then if they had to go beyond that, then it would require a constitutional amendment for the elections to take place after that particular date in March as well. Also, just want to point out, I like to compare the Cayman Islands with what's happening in Bermuda. And in their newspaper, the Royal Gazette, they report that 9,000 persons had been vaccinated. So the island passed the 9,000 person vaccination mark. It was revealed. The Minister of Health added that 1,500 people had now had both doses of the coronavirus jab. So in the Cayman Islands, we have over 14,000 persons, 14,000 vaccines administered, 5,000 plus, 5,174, I believe it is. Persons have had their second dose as well. So when we compare Bermuda to Cayman with similar population numbers, we are doing quite well. And of course, they had their issues over there, just like we have here in terms of vaccine hesitancy as well. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 7:59.
At Foster's, we have better products at better prices.
We sure do. And this week you'll find Haagen-Dazs ice cream, 1 pint for just $4.99. Save $1.60.
We also have bubbly sparkling water, 8-pack, only $3.99. Save $1. And Waitrose antibacterial hand wash, 250 milliliter size for just $1.49 each.
Price is good until the 17th of February, 2021. Find even more great specials in store or by visiting fosters.ky. Foster's, better prices because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 30th of June 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpensions.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Ombudsman Office orders the Cabinet Office to release portions of meeting minutes related to the Smith-Barcadere redevelopment project by Cabinet. Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego reports.
The issue came about through a Freedom of Information applicant who was requesting records related to the Smith Cove redevelopment project, including an extract of Cabinet minutes related to the governing body's decision on whether an exemption to the requirement to seek planning permission should be granted for the project. The Cabinet Office denied the initial request under Section 19 of the FOI Act, stating that the extract was a record of deliberations arising in the course of Cabinet proceedings. The applicant appealed to the Ombudsman, who found that the extract in question, quote, does not document any Cabinet discussion, does not show how Cabinet reached its decision, does not state any matters being considered in that decision, and gives no detail of Cabinet members' discussions. The Ombudsman ruled that the extract from the Cabinet minutes containing information on whether Cabinet granted planning exemptions in relation to the Smith-Barcadere redevelopment project is not exempt under the law, and that the Cabinet Office must disclose the extract related to this decision. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
In other news, get up close and personal with the brand new Boeing 737-8 aircraft and the pilots and crew of Cayman Airways at their hangar this Saturday. Participants get a Q&A with Airways staff and the opportunity to see one of the new aircraft doing training flights with a series of takeoffs and landings at Owen Roberts International Airport. It all takes place between 10 a.m. and 2 on Saturday. In Cayman Brac on the 18th, there will also be a similar event at Charles Kirkconnell International Airport between 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. And the Tourism Attraction Board is inviting you to celebrate all things coconut this Saturday at Pedro St. James for Coco Fest. More from CIG-TV's Donna Bush.
The annual festival, now in its 6th year, brings together local cooks, craftsmen, artisans, and farmers through a shared love for the Cayman coconut in a fun and interactive environment with something for the entire family to enjoy. Funds raised from this year's event are being allocated to the development of a wheelchair-accessible walkway. Now, that walkway will wind through the entire property. More than 30 vendors will be at this year's Coco Fest, which again is happening this Saturday, the 13th of February, starting at 12 noon until 6 in the evening. The public is asked to make the most of the additional parking that's being provided at the Savannah Playfield and the Cayman Islands Baptist Church. A courtesy bus will run back and forth to shuttle persons to the admissions gate. Social distancing protocols will be in effect with the RCIPS on hand to manage traffic flow along the Pedro Castle Road corridor. Entry cost is $5 for adults, and children under 5 will be allowed to enter for free.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. The European Commission President has admitted that the EU is not where it wants to be on immunising people against the coronavirus. Ursula von der Leyen acknowledged that the Commission was late ordering vaccines and too optimistic about mass production, but she defended the decision to procure vaccines for all members. A World Health Organization expert looking into the coronavirus has criticized U.S. intelligence on the origins of the disease. Peter Daszak said U.S. information was often wrong. He was responding to comments from a U.S. official who questioned whether China had fully cooperated with WHO experts in Wuhan. Tens of thousands of people in Myanmar, angry at last week's military takeover, have returned to the streets for a 5th day, defying a government ban on protests. There was a diverse group of protesters, from civil servants and doctors to women in ball gowns. A court in Moscow has issued an arrest warrant for the opposition activist Alexei Navalny's chief of staff, Leonid Volkov. A BBC correspondent in Moscow says the move shows the Kremlin's determination to pursue his entire team. It's emerged that a Russian palace said to be owned by President Putin had to be stripped back to bare concrete to remove harmful mould. Mr. Putin has denied any connection with the building. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today, long, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm Evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing, so come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Have you heard the call? We'll be at the junction of Reverend Blackman Road and Stadium Drive, West Bay on February 10th and 11th at 7:30 p.m.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life, inspire others to bring out the leader in you.
By the words of motivational speaker and author Simon Sinek, author of Leaders Eat Last, Why Some Teams Pull Together and Others Don't. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader.
Change your thinking, change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 90%. The barometric pressure 30.01 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-southeast at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 75 degrees. Synopsis indicate light to moderate easterly winds and seas will continue over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a weakening high-pressure system over the western Atlantic Ocean. Radar images show isolated showers south of the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Your winds will be east at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. And the forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the low 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. And today's high tide will occur this morning at 8:50, low tide this afternoon at 2:58, and a high tide again tonight at 8:18. The sun will set this evening at 6:20 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:57. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
And good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Busy traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway, as well as coming off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Bobby Thompson Way, traffic is coming off busy as well. From the West Bay 4-way stop, moderate flow of traffic, and traffic looking pretty good. On Edward Street and Shedden Road flowing nicely. Moderate flow of traffic in both directions on the West Bay Road and for the Ritz, and coming from the Butterfield roundabout, heading towards the Industrial Park area, traffic is flowing moderately. And as we look to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is flowing at a good pace. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 8. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and buckle up.
You've come to love Subway's Eat Fresh menu. Let them bring it to you and cater your next important meeting or outing. From customized box lunches starting at just $6 to their famous platters, you'll love the taste and the price. Have Subway cater your next staff meeting, boat or beach outing, or birthday party. Their crowd-pleasing sandwich trays will do the trick, like the Fresh Fit platter or maybe the new double meat wrap platter. Subway has a platter to fit everybody's taste. And don't forget to add a cookie platter for dessert. Cater with Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
As we ride the hamster wheel, scampering along the treadmill of living, we try to reset to this new normal, this new life. Where getting away is staying right here. Where vacation is staycation, staying safe. Where focus is surviving minutes, hours, days of anxiety. Step away and say hello to the latest exhibition of the National Gallery. Say hello to Alchemy by Cayman's premier sculptor, native son Horacio Esteban. Lose yourself in moments of geology meeting history, meeting botany, meeting zoology, meeting art. Where Caymanite and coral and unearthed cedar of thousands of years strike a pose in art. Bring your family. Leave your stress at the doors. Wellness, renewal, mental peppermint. Alchemy at the National Gallery, supported by Rotary Central Community Service. Rotary opens opportunities.
It is truly important to our country that the voices of all the people in the Cayman Islands are heard on Election Day. Your vote counts. So on May 26th, exercise your democratic right and vote. A public service announcement from your #1 community station, Radio Cayman.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We expect to have Mr. Kenneth Bryan in the studio with us shortly. Meanwhile, phone lines are open. If you have any questions, any comments in relation to anything that is fit to be discussed on radio, please feel free to call in. Remember, our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of this show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Again, before we went to our headline news, I was talking about the Bermuda and the rollout of their vaccine. I see where also they have now expanded their vaccination program. There's a location called Bermuda College, and that particular location can accommodate up to 10 stations. They anticipate that will be open from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 at night, and that will help to increase the number. They were also expecting on the 25th of February, I believe, to get an additional shipment of vaccines as well. I'm not sure here in Cayman when our next shipment is due, but they're due to have it. Now, we are still going through the various stages. So we're in the Cayman Islands as far as vaccination is concerned. Those over 60, 70, and over, and other key personnel who are being vaccinated as well. And we know that there are persons in the younger age groups who want to be vaccinated as well. And the question that I have is whether or not we will stick to a similar schedule that has been used successfully in our stage 1 and the various groups, whether or not we will continue to use that. We did hear Dr. Hazel Brown and Dr. John Lee talk about the staff and wanting to ensure that staff that they are not overworked as well. But I'm wondering whether or not when we get to the larger segment of our population, whether we would consider opening those locations, at least some, like Owen Roberts International Airport, for longer periods of time to get those numbers up really high, especially for those persons who want to have the vaccine. We know that we've spoken about the vaccine hesitancy here in the Cayman Islands, but there are many persons who want to get it as well. And I think we need to look at affording those individuals that opportunity as quickly as we can before they end up losing interest in taking the vaccine as well. So one of the things that we may want to consider is extending those hours. I'm not sure whether or not at this point in time we're only using qualified and certified medical personnel to administer the vaccine, whether we're using the nursing program at the University College of the Cayman Islands and the students there, whether or not they can be used. I would imagine that some special dispensation may have to be given to them from the Health Practitioners Board or whatever cabinet to allow that to be done. But if there are concerns about overworking the current staff that we have, we need to look and see where we can tap in to use others as well. But I believe that if I shouldn't say if, we know that the intent is to have as much of the population in the Cayman Islands vaccinated as possible, then I think we need to roll this whole program out even further. Of course, all depending on the availability of the vaccine as well, but we need to roll it out further. One of the big moves, and commending those in authority for doing that, is using the Owen Roberts International Airport as a site, for administering the vaccine. Excellent, excellent. I'm sure that there were other options, probably not as attractive as Owen Roberts International Airport, especially with their parking facilities. But we have places like the Family Life Center in Georgetown. So Georgetown has more capability than other districts. But let's not just sit there. Let's continue to be creative. Let's continue to look forward if we want to bring those numbers up as well. Another issue, I'm going to switch gears for a second. I see where Cayman Airways has invited the press as well as the public to view their new, to view the new Boeing 737-8 aircraft and meet the Cayman Airways pilots and crew. I think that is a good move as well. And we realize that Cayman Airways and the Cayman Islands government has seen a drop in revenue as a result of COVID-19. And while things like cargo being brought into the Cayman Islands by air may have increased to a certain extent, I'm not sure that those areas can compensate for the losses otherwise. But this is my suggestion, if Cayman Airways really want to boost the level of confidence in persons wanting to fly the aircraft, one of the things that they may consider doing is, and whether or not it is possible, because we do have agreements, was it called the Bermuda II agreement and various other things, where we may not be able to unilaterally increase or decrease airfares, but you may want to run some specials when it is people are allowed to travel. Run some specials, do it a little cheaper. People will respond to lower airfares. That may help to boost confidence in the people flying them as well. So other than talking to the pilots, meeting the pilots, being able to view the aircraft, consider going one step further and looking at the airfares to get your customers back as well. Just a suggestion. Okay, switching gears again. I'm like a automatic transmission today, not a manual transmission, but an automatic transmission. You heard comments being made about the person who's outside of the government administration building demonstrating. On Monday, after I left the studio, I was out front there, and where I was at the little roundabout by the gates, the security gates to enter the parking area of the government administration building, I could hear the person's voice, and when looking at him, he seemed to be quite agitated. A police officer was there talking with him as well, and the fact that the person is there has garnered, many comments. So the UN High Commission for Refugees in their handbook talks about the term economic migrants, and you heard Dr. McPhail mention that when he called in on Monday, and I'm going to share what they say in their handbook about economic migrants as well. Meanwhile, we do have a caller, so I'm going to the phone lines. We're going to take that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. This is Gilbert McLean.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, OC, that I was one among the reluctant to take the vaccine, in that I had read so many numerous different things, including the scientific opinion on it, and oh goodness, I don't need to tell you how many different stuff is out there. But I came to the point where friends of mine have taken it, and I decided that I would as well. And it did appear to me from all the research that I did, and I did a whole lot, that the one thing that seems to give some advantage against this coronavirus is the vaccine. Knowing that it could have a reaction or whatever, and certainly if you get the virus, it has killed many and so on. So I took it at the airport, and the only thing that reaction, if you would call it that, would be what I have had over the years, taking the various vaccines over the years in my life, that a bit of stiffness at the site where they actually gave the jab, but that was the extent of it. And really, I don't know what the second dose will be like, but I look forward, I would say, to finding out.
Yes.
So that's where I am on it. But the point you make about the having more time or getting
more hours,
yeah, if it's really the idea to get as many people vaccinated as possible, then that makes sense. It seems like, to me, from what I've seen, is like they're 2-hour segments, like for giving it to different name groups and so on.
Basically 1 hour for each segment.
Yeah, and there must be, or I would imagine there are sufficient nurses that could give it, or if there are not enough at the HSA, they could maybe get some from the other areas who may not be fully engaged at the time, but to keep it going. I mean, that is what the world is trying to do. And I must say that at the airport, it was well handled, and I mean, it took little or no time at all to go in and have it done, and also to keep it going at the various district clinics on a more protracted time frame. It would give that opportunity. So, I see it like you do, and if the idea is to get people vaccinated, then that's exactly what they should try to do.
Yeah, I think, Mr. McLean, before what may have contributed to the hesitancy was the availability of the vaccine itself, and it's especially to have enough to administer that second dose in the event. But now it seems as if the flow coming from the United Kingdom is continuous. It doesn't seem as if it's going to be interrupted. So I believe now that they can be able to look at the program and widen it much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one other thing that you mentioned there as well, OC, that about the aircraft that has proven to have taken life and whatnot, the MAX 8, 737 MAX 8, that if Cayman Airways wishes to reassure and get the trust of people as to the safety of that aircraft, although I've been reading up on that, and certain airlines have got it back into service. It is, and while they may give the public a walk through and so on to see it and meet the pilots or whatever, they should issue a statement that reassures the people. I don't know if the work on these aircraft, which I assume has been done, was done here, or was it sent over to Seattle or wherever they are making those changes, and that it has been done A, B, C, D, E, F, however much, and that they have been tested and so forth and so on. It has been said in so many words in different areas or on different media. I've seen some mention, but really just spell it out that this has been done.
Yes.
And that they are ready to fly. And then, of course, it's left to the passengers who will want to decide to take the ride, just like with the vaccine, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. And what also the Pilots Association, they have issued a statement. And what I will do, Mr. McLean, for you and the rest of our listening audience, is to find that statement and share that on air as well. Because if that is coming, I shouldn't say if, that is coming from those persons who have to be in the aircraft with you. It's not like they're sending you off on your own. They have to be there. So we have to give credence and a lot of weight to what those pilots are saying as well.
Quite true.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, OC, if you have or it's just my perception, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of news coming out regularly from GIS. I see some coming via the Caymanian Compass and Cayman Compass at the Times and CNS, but I don't know if they have chosen not to show that the source of various information is coming from GIS or whatever, but I just wondered about it. Perhaps it's just my perception. Okay. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. McLean, for that. Folks, we have to take a commercial break. When we return, we do have a voice note, and I have a few WhatsApp messages and questions as well, and we will accommodate all of those when we return. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Running for political office is no easy feat. You need to be everywhere, all of the time.
Now is the time to get your important messages out to the voting public.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, has always been there for incumbents and future candidates alike. Whether you want to get your political commercials or infomercials on air, make in-house studio appearances, or have your district meetings broadcast live to the listening audience.
Set a time today to meet with one of our knowledgeable Radio Cayman sales account executives who have their fingers on the pulse of the community.
Call them today on 949-7799 or email rcsales@gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, we've been in the community for just about 45 years. That means something.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet. We continue to have an open line for you. Meanwhile, we have a voice note. We're going to share that with you now.
I'll make this quick, but I just want to get a message out to all road users and drivers, really, vehicle users, that we need to be more patient with each other. And a very irritating and dangerous I don't know if it's a habit, but something that has crept into us as drivers. We try to drive for other drivers. And I think this is especially dangerous when people are trying to make it onto a main road from a side road. Traffic is busy, but the drivers behind want to get where they're going, so they're tooting, honking at the driver in front to get them into the traffic, get out of my way, in other words. And I find that this is really irritating and really dangerous. Always blowing your horn at other drivers to make them do what you want them to do when you want them to do it. Like you own the road or something. All you other drivers, get out of my way. I'm coming, get out of my way. I want to drive, I don't care if you get killed getting into that main road, but I want to get where I'm going. Impatient, super impatient people are out there on the road, and they must always overtake you, no matter if they're going a few yards up the road. They have to get past you no matter what. It's crazy. It's a crazy road out there these days. We have all kinds of drivers out there. We have older drivers, we have new drivers, we have new people to the country. And I mean, there's a diverse amount of us out there trying to make it on these roads. And we need to be patient. I know we're all impatient, but we have the super impatient people. We need to be patient and respectful on the roads. And sometimes I really get annoyed with the way that people drive and treat me on the road, So let us be respectful of each other on the road today. That's all I have to say. Bye.
Okay, I want to thank that caller, and I want to say that there are many who share her sentiments in relation to that, especially, the fact that we're always in a hurry going nowhere, always in a hurry going nowhere at all. And the fact that we can't drive for other drivers, or we shouldn't be driving for other drivers, we appreciate that also. I would add to that, though, that one of the principles of defensive driving is to be able to anticipate what other drivers may do, and by anticipating, then you take the necessary precautions to ensure that if the driver does what you anticipate that they will do, that you avoid then, having a collision or something. So that's also a part of defensive driving. But I would also urge drivers, especially those of us who are in our senior years and we're out there driving, to refamiliarize ourselves with the rules of the road. Many drivers in the Cayman Islands got their driver's license and started driving when we basically had roads that are the equivalent now to one of the lanes that we drive in Cayman. We now have dual or multiple lane roads, and it is important for us to also know how to use those, whether, faster moving traffic, what lane they should be in. And while the speed limit in some areas may be 40 miles per hour, there are persons who may be driving at 35 miles an hour rather than 40 miles an hour, and they need to know where they should be on the road as well to allow those drivers who are capable of driving 40 miles an hour, if the conditions are suitable for that, to allow them to be able to do that as well. So I would add that we need to continue to familiarize ourselves with the rules of the road, and may want to just revert back to that handbook that some may not have seen ever since, or they may not even have been a handbook when they took their driving test as well. So that is important. Okay, we have 3 callers. It is 2 minutes. We have about 2 minutes before we go to a commercial break, so we can accommodate 1 caller. We'll take the other callers as soon as we return. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Boy, I try to do the best because, bull going, Joe going.
Yes,
But I have a traffic problem. Okay. Number 2, OC, I think they should start to give some of these drivers their lights in the nights. Because they want them their light.
Mm-hmm.
They drive with one headlight. We think it's a motorbike coming in front of you, and it's a damn car.
Mm-hmm.
We see the dump trucks in the night with high beam lights on. They won't take them off. They get on the green light. They don't want to get off the green light. They got to blow them to get them off.
Yeah.
Trust me. So we need to either recall back at least 5 years of these licenses that we granted to these people who come here and make them take their license in the night. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
That they will. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
That they will know definitely what. See, the bright lights blind us, we can't see.
Yep. And a lot of that has to do with the bright lights. Some can be also attributed to those of us who are up in age, in terms of our eyesight. And my suggestion, what I did the other day, and this may be applicable to others as well. I went online and I looked for glasses that can be worn at night. They're not prescription glasses, but they can be worn at night to cut down on the glare of the headlights.
The beam.
Yeah, in the mornings when my son and I are going back home around about minutes to 6, we're heading east and all of the traffic is queued up, coming down areas of Breadfruit Walk and about there, and they're bumper to bumper, but some of the cars still have their high beam on, and it is very difficult for me to see. So I bought a pair of those glasses, like $20 on Amazon, and it works really good because it cuts down on the glare. So people who are affected by that may want to consider getting some type of eyewear that will reduce the glare, because it is easy for them to cause accidents. I know people, I've seen situations where I've actually had to pull off to the side of the road because you can't see. So that is important as well. And we also need the police to be out there to enforce that.
I don't see none of them. I don't see none of them. But then again, we'll see these extra bright lights they have on the car. Like 4 bright lights, not 2.
Yes.
And then the indicator, Jesus God, will see the give one, they go in left, and they give the right indicator.
Yeah.
You got to be cautious. You got to stay so far behind them, you don't know what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the traffic department will fit in all them boys not in no more and boosting up. We need to get the traffic department together, man.
Yeah, it needs to be something full-time. They need to be out there on the road. They need to be visible. And we need to take this traffic situation serious. We really, really need to take it more seriously than I believe that we are addressing it at this point in time. My friend, I want to thank you very much again.
Thank you.
You know, my condolences, you know, in terms of the loss of the family. But just make sure that you remember the good times that you had with them, and that will help to carry you through the days as well, my friend. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We still have two callers queued up. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Susie. Didn't know it was my turn yet. Yeah, I have to agree with that driver and agree with yourself about the bright lights and all that. Got to remember, the modern cars nowadays, mostly using is halogen lights. They're quite a bit brighter, and they give off a different sort of aura, that's the correct word, a peripheral, around them that appears to be like a burning piece of sulfur or something like that, or that. Forgotten what that is.
Yeah, they illuminate quite differently.
Illuminate quite differently. It's spread out like a, the solar rings or something, but. Also, there is a thing that it's been around a very long time, an anti-glare light. It's a purple light, but I think they made it illegal in Cayman now. For over 60 years, people, I know for a fact, these lights have been around. You put it back where your sun visor is, and it's attached. You can plug into your cigarette lighter or whatever. But those of us like myself who don't smoke 42 years now, but you could do that, and it is effective. I've seen a car, so I'm talking about over 60 years. The There's one of the things that I've noticed, which is a very bad habit. It's a Caribbean habit because you can't do this in the United States or Canada. Don't try it. Putting their arms outside the window of the car. You're not supposed to have any part of your body outside. I know for a fact, don't try that in the state of Florida. Period. You'll see a state trooper drive up beside you with his loudspeaker and tell you, get your arm back inside that car now. That's it. I've seen them do it to high school kids and all that there. And it's a bad habit here, and it's dangerous. You can lose your arm. I've seen it happen right here in Cayman. The other thing is parking with their headlights on. It's a bad habit. Again, it's a Caribbean habit. I'm not asking, I'm saying it without any fear. It's the Caribbean. It's a bad habit. Parking and your headlights are on. That car is, to all intents and purposes, to an oncoming vehicle you're driving. And yes, there are lots of things, and it's not just the older people, the young ones are driving, because we all know, those of us who have been driving for many, many years, you don't really learn to drive until about the third or fourth year after you've gotten your license. I don't think you really learn to be driving very competently. And then you'll see, it's a system, it's a matter of angles. Driving is try to make the acute more obtuse and get along, especially when you're by yourself on a road for distance. Anyhow, racing drivers know what I'm talking about. But the thing is, it's just, like you say, more traffic police and seeing these situations, the honking of the horns and not using the turn signals, and then again, just simply not, in a hurry, not obeying things, just simply driving the wrong way, if I can put it, not find the right words for it, driving just ignorant and silly, and without proper license plates, without, it's horrendous. I'd just like to ask a question here. With that gentleman or fellow, whatever you want to call him, rascal, if I don't know if he's moved yet from the administrative building, but what's his beef really, with this thing? Is he an economic migrant or is he a refugee?
Well, I think he has already been granted refugee status in the Cayman Islands. He's already been granted refugee. My understanding is.
If you're a refugee, you should be thankful and grateful to the country that has granted you. You see all over the world, there are refugees, thousands and hundreds, millions now. Most of them are very, very thankful when you hear them interviewing them, and they try to give them as humane situations as possible in those countries, though they're very overcrowded now. Because we see the situation in Africa and Myanmar and all those places, what's happening there. Constant wars, constant killing by the Islamic extremists.
So your point in relation to him being out there, you feel that he is he entitled to be out there to demonstrate and express his dissatisfaction or whatever it is?
Yeah, I'm going to sue the government and all this on government property, putting a sign there that he's been granted this privilege. He should be grateful and thankful instead of throwing dirt in the face of this good country that has granted you this privilege. And if you want to take it up with them, and talk to the immigration and see if they could or do something to help you with this lady he has married from a country, apparently she's not a refugee. Right. So I don't see.
Well, authorities have spoken to him already, explained the situation, to him. But I guess he's trying to exercise his newfound freedom in the Cayman Islands, doing something that he wasn't able to do in his own country, or if he did it there, what would happen to him as well. But I plan on addressing, that, if certainly not today, on Friday in relation to, what his rights, what his expectations should be as far as the United Nations protocols and guidelines are concerned. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that, because we want to grab the other caller before we reach our headline news at 9 o'clock this morning. One of our listeners has written in also and has said, "Good morning. Can you clarify the correct times for dose number 2 administering today according to last name? There seems to be a discrepancy between what was on the bulletin board and what is on the website. When should those with the last name E go to the airport?" So, and this is important because it's almost 9 o'clock. At the airport this morning for dose number 2, A to F, so that would include E, 9 to 10 o'clock. A to F, 9 to 10 o'clock, and I will send a WhatsApp message to you confirming that as well. So, I now have in the studio with me this morning my guest MP, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan, before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good morning. I am so sorry for my lateness this morning. Had a little emergency this morning to deal with.
Sure,
so
understood. No problem.
My apologies for being late, but it's a pleasure to be here, trying to take as much opportunity for these last few weeks of opportunity to speak to the good people of Georgetown Central and the Greater Cayman Islands. I want to speak mostly about this particular event that I have coming up called Hog's-Eye Bay Fun Day on the 21st of February this month, obviously. And I think I brought it up on the show last Wednesday before, 2 weeks ago, about my committee and I planning this event. And I'm happy to say today that it is a reality now, and we are moving forward, and we will plan to have this event on the 21st. And basically it's an event reminiscing on the times when Georgetown Harbor and the Hog's-Eye Bay area was used for recreation by many Caymanians, but mostly by Georgetowners in respect to going out there and doing cultural things like swimming, fun beach events. You heard the good Craig Marion with his stunts of riding off into the ocean on bikes. Many Caymanians using old car tubes as recreational floating devices and the like. So my committee and I have organized and planned for this Hog's-Eye Bay Day. We've gotten permission to close the roads. We've gotten permission from Port Authority already to use the South Terminal. Our committee are going to be providing fry fishing flitters for 200 to 300 persons, so everybody can get a little something to eat. We'll have a DJ playing some good, clean, mature music in the background, because we hope that many people after church on Sunday, on the 21st of February, will come down and reminisce of how it was and bring their kids and grandkids to go swimming in the water. We'll have lifeguards available there to keep an eye on everybody while they enjoy the Snug Harbor area. Thankfully, it's been boat free for some time in respect to cruise ships, tenders going back and forth. So the water is reasonably filtered through, so to speak. So we expect out there to be nice and beautiful and take us back down memory lane, so to speak. Now, I know there's many seniors who probably remember going there as a kid or as a young adult and enjoying that area. But if you can't still make it into the water, you can come and watch some next generation make some memories. But we can talk more about that.
Sure.
After we get back from the news.
Top of the hour, headline news, 9 o'clock. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record with MP. Mr. Kenneth Bryan will continue shortly.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the
best interests of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 271 COVID-19 tests on Tuesday. All came back negative. There are currently 730 people in isolation. More than 14,000 vaccines have been administered in Cayman against COVID-19. The U.S. Senate has found that the impeachment trial of former U.S. President Donald Trump is constitutional, allowing full proceedings to begin. Mr. Trump's defense team argued that he could not face trial after leaving the White House, but a 56-44 majority voted in favor of continuing, with a handful of Republicans backing the measure. Mr. Trump is accused of, quote, inciting insurrection when Congress was stormed last month. And European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has admitted the European Union was late to authorize COVID-19 vaccines and, quote, we're still not where we want to be. She acknowledged shortcomings in the Commission's vaccine response in a speech to the European Parliament. She has faced criticism from MEPs over the EU's handling of the rollout. However, she was adamant that the decision to order vaccines collectively was, quote, the right thing to do. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me a Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, represents Georgetown Central in our Parliament. Before I throw the mic back over to him, one of our listeners wrote in and said, you raised a good point earlier on rolling out the vaccination program with more availability. There should be an inoculation location for whoever can go and get vaccinated as well. So in what this person is saying, in addition to what we have now, if we should have one that allows whoever wants to go to be able to go and get their vaccination there as well. Good thought as well. Something that should be maybe considered by the authorities as well. Mr. Bryan, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Connor. I think that is a good suggestion as well, because I think there's a lot of people who are in different age groups who may not want it, as well as people who are in the younger age groups who are not their time yet, who will want to get it. So you might as well fill the gap, so to speak. So that makes sense. Going back to what we were speaking about before we went to the break, I just want to publicize this Hogside Side Bay event that myself and my committee are doing to allow persons in the community to come and enjoy something that we once did in the Hogside Side Bay area. And that's on the 21st of February. We're having an event called Hogside Side Bay Day Fun Day. And it's basically to celebrate Georgetown and the Hogside Side Bay area and its significance, what we did as Caymanians growing up. As you can tell, we've developed tremendously, a lot of positives as a result of the development, a lot of infrastructure, more opportunities economically, and growth and income for our government to provide for us in many different ways, shapes and forms, from education to social welfare and the like. But with that development came some negatives, like the slow decline of our cultural norms. And one of those slow declines is stuff like what we used to do many years ago, many decades ago, about swimming in our natural harbors. So Hogside Bay has now become our main hub. I don't even think you're allowed to swim there anymore unless we're in situations like this where it's a holiday or the coronavirus event like this has caused much of the boating routes to be ceased. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is have an event to remember what Hogside Bay meant to the Cayman Islands as well as to that of Georgetowners. And we've been given the privilege and the permission to use the Port Authority and the Hogside Bay area for one day, for a few hours, and lock it off so the public can come and enjoy and remember what it was like many, many decades ago and how they used to use that harbor. It was a little beach cove that was there before it became the main port. Many people used to go there to swim, bring up their fish. And before we had the major cement dock, schooners would come in and bring produce and the like. So it was a very high trafficked area, and I'm trying to bring back a lot of that, those memories and that environment, that feeling that we once had. So ultimately, this event will allow for people to come out, and we just put in the permission just yesterday from the police department to close the harbor front from 11 o'clock to 6 p.m. That way would facilitate for persons who want to come, that they'll be able to sit and relax and not worry about cars going back and forth. We are intending to, we just got the quote yesterday as well, for tents, chairs, fans, because depending on if it's too hot, I would want the seniors to be overwhelmed by the heat, because it does get hot depending on the day. Big fans that are going to be out there. My team and I will have a food section set up where we are offering everybody just almost like an appetizer amount of fish and fritters, and some swanky, or just a beverage like a soda or water or juice. But I think most persons are going to be trying to get the swanky, but we're going to have a limited amount of that, because I'm not sure if we can make enough swanky for that many people. We're working with just a budget of my own cash. Unfortunately, I've been unable to, or haven't really been looking for a lot of sponsors, so to speak. People have called in and donated, I think, about $200 so far. But because I've been so busy trying to focus on the campaign, I've been really out looking for sponsors. So I'm limited to the budget that I have personally, which I have already prepared myself to try to pay for. So we're gauging for 200 to 300 people, but I think there's a possibility that more people will show up. But the good old Craig Marin came to a committee meeting last night, and we were setting up plans for some of his stunting events with the bicycles riding it off the dock. So we're going to make a little board out there for people to for him, and I've been challenged to do it myself, to ride off the dock on a bicycle into the sea. And the exercise after that is you have to go dive up the bicycle afterwards. So we're going to have that. We're also looking into, and I'm hoping to have that approval by the end of the day, have a few jet skis out there to offer little rides to the kids, to go out in the harbor and come back for a little bit. Nothing too overwhelming. We've also spoken to the Lions Pool head coach, who is going to be assisting with some lifeguards to be around for people who want to swim and the like. We're planning to invite the fire department, obviously the community police, to be around, just from a safety perspective. I'm supposed to be. I'm challenged with the task of actually having an ambulance close by, just in case, because we're dealing with water. If anything goes awry, which we hope nothing happens, because this is just supposed to be a positive event for us to just enjoy ourselves in the water. So ultimately, it's a time for us to come. Nothing more than just coming in and remembering what it was like to go down to the Georgetown Harbor, swim in the sea, and enjoy the memories, and potentially build some new ones, because I know that there's another generation that will not recall what many people like yourself, OC, would go there as a kid and enjoy the harbor and Snug Harbor. I'm quite sure you swim there yourself growing up. Am I correct?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yes. So
definitely.
This is really for the seniors to reminisce, and for them to also recognize that we want to make sure to pass on that cultural norm, that it's not forgotten, and potentially have another generation of people who go, I remember when, because Cayman is not going to be Cayman in the next 25 years, and we don't know what the harborfront will look like in 25 years from now. But all that being said, that's the whole plan. It's going to be Hogstye Bay Day. I'm trying my best to get the good Lord Graham to potentially do some fireworks that night as well. But unfortunately, we have not been able to secure the funding, because obviously you have to pay for fireworks. Fireworks is very expensive. So if we can secure that and get the permission from Port Authority to allow him to do the fireworks there, we are hoping that maybe people are still around after 6 when the sun is about to go down. And if the money makes itself available, then have some fireworks for that evening, just so we can all, celebrate together what Hogstie Bay meant to us.
Okay.
So I look forward to people coming down, and I invite everybody to come. It doesn't matter what district you're from. You don't have to be only from Georgetown, because there's many Caymanians who enjoyed it that are not from Georgetown, but inviting everybody to come. It's all free of charge, and the refreshments is free as well.
Okay, we have 2 callers. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'd like to sanction what a previous caller was referring to pertaining the traffic situation, the way people are driving on the road, the way the lights are being used, the lack of directional facilities, and it just seems like it goes worse and worse all the time. I agree with sometimes you're in a lane that you have to be in order to make the correct, go in the correct lane when you get to a roundabout, which sometimes is on the wrong side of the road far as speed is concerned, or far as keeping at least to the speed limit. So, especially at night, and I do have one of those glasses, or whatever you call them, night vision, thing to prevent the glare. It helps a bit, but I don't normally use it. But nearly every other car on the road in the night is blinding somebody, is blinding the oncoming traffic, and it's happening at nearly every other car that you meet. I mean, it's very dangerous. People are going to be killed if they're not more careful, because you can't see a thing hardly when you meet some of these cars at night. You can't even see where you should drive to keep on the road. I don't understand why the licensing department allows these kind of lights to be used, and it looks to me like these LED lights, while I enjoy the bright lights myself, they seem to be floodlights, not spotlights, and don't care what angle you look at them on, they're blinding you once it's in front of you somewhere.
True.
So I don't know, something needs to be done about this, otherwise it's going to cause a lot of accidents and deaths, I think, before long.
Yep, yes.
And again, I don't understand how people can use every color headlight you can think about nowadays. Red, green, blue, anything except the right lights, and nothing is being done about it.
Yeah, enforcement is lacking, really.
I personally had a vehicle license for 4 years, an old antique car, and had to have it licensed it one time afterwards, after 4 years. I had to change the regular bulbs on the parking lights, which is also the indicator lights, to amber. They wouldn't pass it without that. Another occasion, I had a clear plastic lens over my tail light. My tail license plate, rear license plate. They would not pass that, even though it was clear as crystal. You could see every number clearly. And before I could get my vehicle inspected, I had to take that off, or they wouldn't inspect it. Sometimes you see a license plate, it just looks like a plate of aluminum-colored plate. You can't tell one number on it, yet it seems to be ignored. I don't understand why the traffic police don't deal with these issues. And again, the tinting, they made me take the tint off of my vehicle because it was a little darker than what's allowed. They even wanted me to cut a piece off of the little strip over the windshield. Yet you meet people that you can't even see who's in the car. You can't see a soul. Windshield, side windows, everything is blackened so much that you can't. Like I say, you can't even see if someone's driving the car or not.
Yep.
I don't understand why, although they claim that once they're inspected, they take it off to get inspected, and so when they get inspected, they put it back. What happens to the police that's on the road that can see the same thing, same as everybody else every day, 24 hours a day? It's really they're too lax with the traffic situation now.
Yep.
And I agree too, you can drive too slow and be a nuisance on the road as well. Because people will overtake you when it's dangerous time to overtake. and then that again can cause a dangerous accident.
Yep.
Terrible accident.
All right. Caller, I want to thank you very much for your comments there. We have to take a commercial break. I believe we still have, two more callers queued up as well. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, we will take those 2 callers. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vant Motors has lots of great reasons why you should choose a Toyota Corolla Hybrid or CHR Hybrid for your new ride. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven, so you don't ever have to worry about plugging them in. Both are super quiet as well as economical and fun to drive. So stop by Vant Motors to check out a new, fuel-efficient, eco-friendly Toyota Corolla Hybrid for only $26,900 or a sporty CHR Hybrid starting from $34,150 while stock lasts. Go Toyota. Go hybrid. Go to Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
Are you interested in a career in IT? The Spring UCCI Cisco NetAcad is offering more than 15 scholarships to new IT Academy students. The scholarship covers half of the tuition of the cost of the course. UCCI's IT Academy courses include CompTIA A+ certification, cybersecurity, CCNA Cyber Ops, programming essentials in Python, and Internet of Things. To apply for a scholarship, visit www.ucci.edu.ky/Cisco-NetAcad-scholarship. The deadline is February 10th and classes start on February 15th.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, MP Mr. Kenneth Bryan. 2 callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very, very good, sir. And also to Mr. Bryan.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I couldn't be fine. If I went fine in this northeast breeze, would have blown me out to 12 miles. But now, you are probably, I know you're aware, and I want to thank you for having attended some of the issues that we've had in court with the various dark group of companies and the courts and the planning department and the attorney general and that's trying to take away our rights to go to the beaches.
Yes, sir.
In end of January, we had an appearance in court again on the subject of the right-of-ways by Royal Palms, Coral Caymania. And that meeting was supposed to be an in-chambers meeting, but upon arrival at the court, at the last minute, DART had asked for other people to be able to come in. And of course, Mr. DART owns the Cayman Islands government, so he got permission. But when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Although it's an in-chambers meeting, we tried to get some other people in the last 10 minutes when we got there, but nobody else could come. So the next meeting it's going to be public, not in secret in chambers. And so the public will be able to come. My phone number is 916-0707. 0707. Give me a call, and we don't know when the next hearing is going to be. I'll let you know, and you can attend and hear what government is trying to do against the Caymanian people. Now, we also saw in the news of what is proposed to occur. Oh, let me just say, there are 2 vehicular right-of-ways in front of the Kimpton. Those vehicular right-of-ways are also in the mix of trying to officially block. And this is utilizing the laws that were passed in the Legislative Assembly, Section 98 of the Registered Land Law, to allow them to do it. And I know, Mr. Bryan, you're very familiar, and thank you again for attending those meetings. When we looked at what they were trying to do in October last year, the government, to make all the owner had to do was to go in front of a judge and tell the judge, I want to move it. And because it's DART, of course, it would be moved, and that would eliminate all right-of-ways as he wanted them done. And this proposal that they were trying to do last year would have been retroactive. The 2018 revision you guys did in the House, that was from that point going forward. No, they weren't satisfied with that. DART told them, I need a law to allow me to go back to all the existing ones. As I buy a piece of land, I find a right-of-way on it, I go in front of the judge, here it is. And they tried to do it in quick too, and says, I want this right-of-way off the piece of land, and we know that they probably will get it. He gets most of what he wants.
Caller, I need you to abbreviate what you were trying to get across to us, because we have other callers queued up, please.
Sir, I know you would want to abbreviate, but this is a 3-island-wide issue. This is a big issue.
I understand that.
Okay, all right. Now, they're now proposing, and Mr. Bryan, this is especially home to you. You're people from Scranton. And I know again that you have been down there, you have seen the areas, you know where the traditional, for a century or more, camping areas where people go, where people bathe, north of the Kimpton, 7 vehicular right-of-ways that the government has allowed Mr. DART to block, and people can't drive. They still go there, but they have to go on foot. And these are the rights that our government, that we're holding up a fight against our legal department, who's wanting and to allow it. Our ministries are allowing this to happen. Our planning department.
Caller, you're repeating yourself, and there's more fluff than we need. We need you to get to the point.
There's a lot more fluff. Caymanians, come out and get involved. 916-0707, and I'll let you know when it's back in court.
Excellent. Caller, thank you very much for that. Let's grab another caller before we go to a break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
And good morning to Mr. I'm fine, and good morning to Mr. Bryan.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good. I just would like to give you some information.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
When you said that Hawkside Bay was used by Georgetowners, I think you have to limit those words, because Hawkside Bay was not used by all Georgetowners. Hawkside Bay was only used by some people in Georgetown, some communities in Georgetown, and those communities was what the white people in those days called Monkatown, Scranton, and the old yard. They were the ones, and what the whites call it then. What the whites called Hawkside Bay then was the Surrey Bush people bathtub. That's what they call it, because they believe that those people only bathed once a week, and that was on Sunday when they came out to the sea. Now, the people in South Sound didn't use Hawkside Bay. And you will hear Miss what's her name from South Sound say so many times that the people in South Sound use Smith Barcadere for their recreation area, and Smith Barcadere was certainly used when I was growing up, going to Sunday school, by the people in South Church Street and the chapel and all that kind of stuff Easter egg hunt on Easter. That's where they would hide all the Easter eggs, and the children had to go there and try to find them. Now the people in North Church Street, where they call down north, and Rock Hole area, they use Red Spot as their beach. And the people who live further down by what we call Gradsons, which is now what Whitehall Bay around there. Those people, they use Whitehall Bay for their recreation.
Or Padian Beach area.
Or Padian Beach. So the Hawkside Bay was only used by the black people in that area coming down. They came down Sheridan Road. They came down behind. They came from behind Elgin Avenue area, and they came and they descended on South, and they would come there on Sundays. They would never come there any other day except Sundays. They would come on. They would come on a Saturday, but Saturday was considered to be a working day, so they would come on Sundays. And I'll just quickly tell you a little story about there. And on the beach there, the kids would go and play and get something called skillet pots. You know what that is?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. So
I don't know if I see anymore, but I know what they are.
Okay, so I had a friend named you remember Sharky?
Yes, sir.
Cheryl?
Yes, sir.
Well, in those days, you know, when you buy a pair of shoes, they would get you a pair of shoes when you were 9 or 10. And even when you were 12 years old, you still had to wear the same pair of shoes. You see, because you only got one pair of shoes.
Cut the toe out, so if they get too small for you, cut the toe out.
Our mother would tell us, don't take off the shoe when you come out of Sunday school. So Cheryl and I went to Sunday school, and we saw all of these boys down in Hawkside Bay taking off their shoes, rolling up their pants, going into the people onto the beach there, trying to find skillet pots. I told Cheryl, don't do it. He took off his shoes, went down there, and playing in the water. And you know, when you play in the water, your foot sort of swell up. And after he came out of the water, he couldn't get the shoes back on. And so we went down. We are boys. We're like 11 now. We're like 11 or 12 now. We went down by Ramon Garage. Or it knows where Ramon Garage used to be. Mm-hmm. It used to be on the north side of the old government school.
Yep.
Between that and the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
We went down there and found some cup grease. And we tried to grease Cheryl's foot to see if he could get the shoes back on, but we could not get the shoes back on. So he tied the string together, threw the shoes around his neck, and we went up Sheridan Road enough to go home. And when he got to Granville Road, where he had to turn in, I took off and started running. and run home to my house on Mary Street.
So you left him stranded, huh?
And sure enough, I heard the hollering. Aunt Fanny. And when he tried to run from her, she picked up some big rocks and knocked him in his back because when she found out he was coming home bare feet. That was a bad thing. You know, don't take off your shoes on Sunday. As much as they hurt you in Sunday school, don't take them off. You have to wear them and bring them back.
Yeah. Doc, I want to thank you very. Sorry. Let you wrap up very quickly. Got a half minute.
So what they used to do too? The people couldn't swim. Would get old car tires, old tubes and stuff, and sometimes they would go down there and they would swim all Sunday evenings in Hawkside Bay.
Yep.
But Hawkside Bay was only for the people up in central area.
Mm-hmm. Doc?
That was the way people said that was their bathtub.
Uh-huh. Thank you very much, Doc, for that. I just want to point out one thing, and I think I pointed this out on an earlier show when you were on as well. One of our national heroes, Mr. Armand Panton, early in the mornings, that was his place for swimming. You would see him out there wading in the water in Hawkside Bay early in the mornings as well. Folks, we have to take a commercial break. Ms. Susan, how many calls do we have on queue? None? Okay, good. I shouldn't say good, but we don't have any callers at this point in time. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years? Ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
Cayman Arts Festival is back. The 2021 festival features Cayman's artistic performers, including guitarist Nathan Herrera. The flamenco guitarist takes the stage on Thursday, February 11th, 7 p.m. at the Westin Hotel Ballroom. Mr. Herrera is an accomplished guitarist with an extensive international performing background from Spain to Florida. See the rhythmic genius of Nathan Herrera live in concert with the Cayman Arts Festival, Thursday, February 11th, 7 p.m. Tickets are available at www.caymanartsfestival.com. For more information, call 922-5550 or email inquiries@caymanartsfestival.com. Event sponsored by RBC Dominion Securities.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me MP Mr. Kenneth Bryan. We're talking about Hogstay Bay Day in the Cayman Islands, and he will give you more information about that. I have one question from a caller before we go there, though. We can get involved in a little trivia or a little history, and there's an article that talks about Hogstay Bay in Georgetown, Grand Cayman, and it says that when Sir Francis Drake landed on the island,
this is MP Kenneth Bryan.
When Sir Francis Drake landed on the island in 1586, he was delighted to discover an abundance of turtles. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the island gained a reputation amongst ships as an excellent port to replenish supplies, including meat. As the turtle population dwindled, the locals satisfied the growing demand by selling hogs. This led to the town's nickname of Hogstays, and the waterfront became and still is Hogstay Bay. On the left, and then it talks about shows you a photograph, of that as well.
Interesting.
Yep, very interesting. And Mr. Bryan, one of our listeners, has written in and said, "Can you speak to the possible or the condition of Hogstay Bay as far as contamination of the water is concerned?"
Well, OC, I'm not aware of any contamination down there. I'd be surprised to find out if there was. I know that there was a lot of, backwash of the traffic of the boats in and out there. So it became more like, that whole diesel kind of look on top of the water, on the top level of the water line. But because, luckily, I guess one of the positives of COVID-19 is that we haven't had any cruise ships in a very long time, almost a year now. So the earth will and the seas will naturally purify itself all over again. So I think that I went down there the other day, myself and some others, and I'm quite fine with swimming in the water. So I would think it would be safe for everybody else. There's been no prevention of persons swimming out there for any particular reason. So I don't have any reason for concern at this particular point, and the water looks pretty clear to me.
Mm-hmm. And the authorities...
and no authorities have indicated otherwise, and the port has given us permission to do so, and the port would be the authority to say whether that harbour is safe to use or not for swimming purposes.
Excellent. Okay, you still have the mic. So.
Yes, thanks again. So just again, reminding everybody, I want to thank Dr. McField for calling in, and he's right. Funny enough, my good friend Edlin Moore, my political advisor, was advising me to the true history of the different locations along the harbour. In front of Mr. Berkeley Bush Theatre, further down by Lobster Pot, and some, I can't remember the part there, right by 7-Eleven, that different communities had different areas because of the proximity of parents allowing their kids to go too far. So, for example, in the Rock Hole area, they were more by where part of the fishermen are now, because it was in close proximity. Bawden Road would be allowed to go out there by like 7-Eleven. They got a little beach there. Mm-hmm. So as you go further up, depending on your proximity, there's different coves that were there. So yes, the truth is that Hogstye Bay itself was more for the neighborhood that was more in line with Hogstye Bay, which is Shedden Road. That's why Shedden Road comes out right there.
Yeah, that was the closest access.
That's the closest access.
Sea access for them. Yeah,
exactly. So yes, it was predominantly done by Georgetown Central, and I must say that that's where the foundation of this idea came from. I'm the representative for Georgetown Central, and those are my people. So I mean, I would encourage the Georgetown Central people who remembers that this is primarily for you, but I'm not going to exclude every other Caymanian who may. I mean, I'm quite sure your friends from back in the day that were living up Rock Hole or living in Walker's Road didn't say, boy, I couldn't come swim by your spot. So we want to make sure that this is inclusive. But yes, there's a higher probability that most of the people who have built their memories there are from the heart of Central and Shedden Road and Martin Drive, that kind of area. Mm-hmm. But it's not exclusive to them. Like you rightfully said, our national hero, Mr. Panton, used to go there and swim. So I don't want it to be... I don't want to leave it with the concept of, if you didn't swim there when you were a kid, that you can't come. Yeah. This is for everybody. And it's still historical to us, and I want to try to, as we are developing and we're slowly losing a lot of these things, this is ways of preserving the historical elements of the different areas of our community. I mean, like say, for instance, the 7-Eleven shop that the Bawden family still owns. I hope one day that we preserve that, because that's an iconic building that, now that they're no longer open, I'm worried that, something will happen and that will be sold or removed. These types of things, my job as a MLA, as a MP, is to try my best to not lose who we are. And I think that at the very least, if we build the memories, we can pass it on. Because it has become our main harbor now for imports.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget also that little cove right in front of Dr. Roy's house.
Yes.
To the north of Paradise Restaurant right there. That was another area.
That was another little area. So going back to the element of parenting, parents would say, okay, then that only 200 or 300 feet away. Go down there by that cove now and you come straight back home. As opposed to saying you're going to go all the way up by 7-Eleven Cove. Mm-hmm. So there is that concept to that. But I'm almost certain that even the people who were their cove, so to speak, wasn't in line with the area, snuck around and went down there. So the bottom line is, it's not about which cove it is, but the fact that we all had our own little coves to go to. Even if it's Smith Cove, Hogstye Bay, down by 7-Eleven, or Paradise, wherever it was, I want to bring that same atmosphere again, to remember that we're still island people. And I know that we're going through a lot of development, but we can't lose who we are. And the more development, you just heard Mr. Billy call in and speak about these lack of access points to the beach and more development that is coming. I must say I'm worried. I'm 40 years old, and I hope the Lord gives me a lot more time. But I'm worried that in 30 years from now, some of these things are going to be distant memories, you know. And I'm trying to do my part to preserve it and build some new ones. So again, come on down to Hogside Bay on the 21st of February. We're starting at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The plan is to we've gotten permission to lock off the road and are getting permission to lock off the road, and we've already got permission from Port Authority to use the South Terminal for our activities. We'll have food and refreshments, and food and refreshments being that of fried fish and fritters, because we're trying to keep it cultural as much as possible. We're gonna have some swanky. Sorry.
No mangoes, no ginips, no plums, because it's not
a
a season.
Yeah. But one of my committee members have said that there's a lot of people who would like to bring some heavy cake. So if you want to come on down, you intend to come down, and you're a good heavy cake maker, come on, bring one down. We just slice it up and give everybody a little small piece, because we're stretching what I have as far as I can. As you remember, I get the least pay out of every MLA there is in the house, because I'm the youngest and the newest member there. I think me and Chris share the same salary, and we're at the lowest scale. So I have to use this out of my own salary to cover the cost. And some donations have been given as well. But my point is, come on down. We'll have some free refreshments, some good background music, and a great environment. We're going to do a couple of those cultural things like old tubes. I got to go to the tire shop today to see if I can get some of them. I want to put about 10 or 20 of those out there so we can use.
Check Butch Courtney Miles as well, because the last time when you were on here, he sent me a WhatsApp message saying that he had.
He does?
He had.
Perfect.
So check him. I'm not sure how many, but he does that. Let's see if we can grab a caller before we go to our next break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good afternoon, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, Miss Georgette.
And good afternoon to MP Kenneth Bryan.
Hi, Miss Georgette. How are you, ma'am?
I am so thankful God gave me another day.
Amen.
And I trust that you and your wife and your whole family and Mr. O.C., you and all your family
Thank
are
you.
keeping well.
Thank you.
I just want to mention one little fact that maybe not too many people might know. During World War II, when the shortage of oil was desperate on the island, I remember doing my homework by candlelight, and Mr. Arthur's little store was the only place where you could go and get kerosene oil, and you could only buy a certain amount at that time to put in your lamp, and you had to use your lamp sparingly because of the oil, the shortage of kerosene oil. I just thought I'd mention that. God bless you all, and God bless our three beautiful islands, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman.
Thank you very much, Miss Georgette, and all the best to you and your family as well. One more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. And what about the ripe mangoes to throw in the sea on Saturday?
Yeah. Well, I may understand that if some people are lucky, they may have green mangoes at this point in time.
That's true.
But I'm not sure about the ripe ones.
I'm going to get some ripe ones. Actually, I was listening to that. I'm very much interested in it. So that's why I learned to swim. One question for you. I got a question in between you and Mr. Bryan. I'm sure if not Mr. Dr. Mark Field would be able to seal his to answer that question. When you are protesting, don't you have to get some sort of permission from the government, whether you're having a street meeting, whether you're having a protest, 1 man, 2 man, 2 people, or a group of people? Is there any? You can just do it without permission. You don't have to get permission from the.
No, I believe that the commissioner, permission from the Commissioner of Police is required.
No.
Caller.
I'm not on the.
Caller.
the radio.
Caller?
Uh-huh.
You heard what I said? I believe that the permission from or authorization from the Commissioner of Police is required.
Yes, because I was told this morning by the people that are busy protesting in front of the government administration building, they don't need any permission, because I asked them when they were finished, because, I mean, they're almost camping in my place now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going from bad to worse. As a teacher from East End once said, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, and they said, we don't need permission, because I just wanted to find out how long it was going on, and I wanted to see the permission they had. And so I said, that would, if they had permission, it would be for the front of the glass house. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be for private property.
Well, if they're on your private property and you haven't given them permission, then you certainly have the right to ask them to remove themselves from there. And if they don't, then you can lodge a complaint with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service in regards to them trespassing.
Yes.
You know, we've been patient with them, but I just wanted to find out, because I mean, as far as I was concerned, as far as my knowledge goes, you would have to always get a permission from the Commissioner of Police. I'd say, you know, you could protest for a day or a week or whatever. So I wanted to find out when this thing was over, and I wanted to see the permission, because it wouldn't cover the other side of the road. The sidewalk is not mine. It's not on my government took the land to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
you know,
if they encroach on your property, you certainly have your rights that you can exercise as well.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I just wanted to find out the permission part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, I think that's one sort of, there was a big sign now saying that I protest the protesters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, on Monday after my show, I was out on the sidewalk there, and I saw a police vehicle there, and police officers were there talking to the individual as well, because on Monday morning he was certainly quite vocal, quite loud as well. Caller, we have to go to a commercial break now. I want to thank you very much. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Bacardi presents One Love Legends, a reggae concert, Saturday, February 13th at Coral Beach, featuring Mr. Notch and Local Motion 345, Erica Asai, Bonafide Cayman, and DJ Craig, covering legendary reggae music with a lovers rock twist for this pre-Valentine's Day show. Catch the free pre-show from 4 p.m. with the Neverines and Sugar Daddy. Tickets to the main event, $25, available from eventpro.ky or ticket outlets, Coral Beach, Blackbeard's Liquor Stores, Winner's Circle, FIS MoneyGram, Funky Tanks, Island Naturals Cafe, and ShopRite. One Love Legends of Reggae Concert is brought to you by Bacardi, Coral Beach, Burger Shack, Supermix, Caymanian Times, and Radio Cayman.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. We have no calls at the moment. Mr. Bryan?
Yes, OC, I want to say thank you to everybody who's calling in, particularly those who are responding in respect to the Hawkesbury Bay Day. And I see that I'm getting a lot of WhatsApps from a number of people in respect to this event, and I want to encourage everybody to come on down. That's the 21st of February, which is next week, Sunday, and we're starting from 1 p.m. and it's just to simply have some fun. Put your trunks on, put your bathing suits on, or like what I saw many people do back in the day, just cover up their pants in a shirt and come on down. And if you're still in a fitness position, take a little jump off into the water and feel the ocean and remember what it was like. We just want to create the environment of good ambiance and an opportunity for us to reminisce about those times back then, and potentially consider it to be a annual thing if it turns out well. So I encourage everybody again to come on down. We're going to have Mr. Craig Merrin there doing his little funky business in the water. We're going to try to get some of those old tube tires to really make it authentic. But we will definitely be having the safety protocols in place as well, with lifeguards and people there to assist. And the seniors will also be getting assistance with providing food to them and close access, so they can see if they're not able to get closer to the water, but be sitting within vision to see the kids play and enjoy themselves. So that's the intention there. I hope everybody comes along and we look out to have some fun, have some good food, and a good environment for about 4 to 5 hours on that Sunday. So I invite everybody to come.
One of our listeners off air want to know whether or not, or if you have any idea as to when Harbour Drive will actually be renamed Seafarers Way. It was announced on particular date, so I guess it's just a matter of lining up all of the ducks. The street naming committee that they have set up, and then lands and survey. I think that's in a part of with the lands and survey. I know at one point in time, Ms. Janet Dixon was involved in the street naming process. As well. So,
well, I must say that I believe you're right. It's just a matter of process if the Premier has announced that. But sadly, I hate to say this, but I'm just as lost with this information as the public, because I heard it when the Premier announced it. He doesn't tell at least me and the other members of opposition.
And it falls within your constituency?
And it falls within my constituency. But that's the approach that this government has taken with me for the whole time. I'll be honest, I find it rather disrespectful, but hey, I mean, it's their style of politics, and it's not something I would do. I would respect the elected member of that area, but I can't force them to do the right thing. So, but to answer the question, I am not aware of when the official renaming will be, but I'm certain that the government will do promotions and publications as to the official renaming and changing over of the signage of the street names of Harbour Drive, wherever they are. So they're going to definitely try to get the PR out of it, which I suspect. So I can't really answer that one. But I'll say it was a pleasure to be on the show. I look forward to oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I won't look forward to coming back next week. Not next week, the following week, Tuesday. As you know, these are the last
Wednesday.
I think last next week, the 2 weeks Wednesday from today.
Because the next holiday is next Wednesday, right? The holiday is this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, that means that Mr. Miller would actually have the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I may not come back on until 3 weeks from today. With that being said, I look forward to coming back that Wednesday, because I think after that it'll probably be just another week before the House is dissolved.
Yeah.
So there's not, and I want to. I guess I can close with this.
Well, don't close yet, because I before you get to your closing comments, someone sent in a WhatsApp message that they wanted read to you, and it says, "I have something for Mr. Kenneth Bryan. I would love to see changes in regards to the recruitment of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. I feel that there's laws that should be changed in regards to the way they recruit our officers. Being on island for just 4 years and being able to enlist in the force, to me, is ludicrous. There should be some kind of enlisting program for public safety that caters to young and mid-age Caymanians, making it more attractive and available. This could be implemented in our schools and cadet corps. This will also prepare those who are interested but lacking educational skills. it'll also decrease our overpopulation of foreign police officers that has been that have no connection or status. Before you answer that, I just want to say that it's been, and I know COVID-19 has factored into this, but it has been over a year that the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service had their open house and one recruitment process. I know applicants who have submitted applications and haven't heard, from them. We know that recruiting and training has now ceased as a result of COVID-19, but it really would be nice for those persons who have applied to at least know that their application is still sitting there and it will be considered when they start to recruit again. And I know persons who have not heard anything at all, and it was when they were basically opening up trying to recruit Caymanians.
Well, just to answer the caller's concern, I think I agree that we need to do a better job at ensuring that we get more Caymanian nationals within the police force. You want to be policed by your own. I think we all accept that, and anybody who would come here and say they expect to be policed by Caymanians as well, because you're in the Cayman Islands, and we haven't done a good enough job of securing that enlistment of Caymanians. But I recognize there are some difficulties because now with much of the negative PR over the decades of the police department, for one reason or another, and I'm not suggesting that the whole department has negativity. They've done a lot of proud, particularly in this last 2 years. But people are reluctant to be there. And we have to be more committed to the encouragement elements, like the person who texted in suggesting strategies to get Caymanians in there, whether it be better pay, whether it be better benefits, whether it's trying to get them when they're younger, and enforcing the positivity and your responsibility to take care of your society, but also in the hiring selection. I've heard too many horror stories of Caymanians who want to apply and they're just not selected. And actually, this is a matter that may come up in my campaign in respect to my manifesto, where I'm not satisfied with our ability to do background checks on individuals. I mean, I can't believe that, recognizing that we are a country that does so much importation of labor in so many different ways, that we don't have an advanced enough system to do the proper checks, where then people get hired and you find out that they're wanted for murder elsewhere. That blows my mind. You have CIAA, where seems to me have a better checking system on their security guards because they're connected to other entities across the world, that you have to pass a certain criteria to even become a security guard at the airport, because ports are so secured than our own police department. So if I was a part of the government, I definitely want to be more stronger background checks on persons who we do hire, if we have to hire outside, and also increase the encouragement of Caymanians to be hired, whether that might be a way of benefits and the like. So I agree with the caller. But to wrap it up, because I know you're going to close off very shortly, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to continue to come into your homes.
We're going to try to squeeze one more caller in, if you may. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon now, Mr. O.C.
Getting close there, but we're still just around about 10 o'clock.
Anyway, I just want to say one thing. I noticed it over the last few months especially, and other people noticed the way that MP Kenneth is sort of, I don't know, wouldn't say shunned, but treated in the house. But Kenneth, my darling, remember this. In God's sight, you are created by Him, and in His sight, you are very special. And you're special to me, and I love you. God bless.
Thank you so much, Miss Georgia, and I love you too, and I thank you so much for that heartfelt support You really made my day, because it's been a rough couple of weeks with all the campaigns. So I appreciate your support and your love. It just gave me a smile for a day that may be very long for me. So thank you so much.
Okay. One of our listeners has also reliably informed us that there is no longer a street naming committee. The Minister of Lands is the authority nowadays. So the Minister of Minister of Lands has the authority to do so.
Well, I'm quite sure Miss Julie, the Honourable Juliana Connolly, will address it. She seems to be a rather prompt person in respect to her responsibilities, so I think she'll take care of it. Again, as in closing, OC, I want to thank the listening audience for always allowing me your ear, particularly when I come on the show. It's coming down to the end of a 4-year period where I was selected to be the representative of Georgetown Central, but all Caymanians. And I appreciate that opportunity. And as we dwindle down to the last few opportunities to be in a public position as your elected member, I want to say thank you so much. I've learned a lot in 4 years, and I look forward to potentially representing you, not only Georgetown Central, but all Caymanians again soon. And I want to make sure that we use these last few shows here on Radio Cayman in the most positive way we possibly can. So I thank you again. I love you and I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in about 2 weeks, Wednesday.
Sure. And one of our listeners has endorsed what was said in relation to the quality of the water and stuff at Hogstye Bay. A person said that Mr. Orman used to complain, about the sanitary conditions around Hogstye Bay, especially, with Cayman Arms and the English shop when they were located there. And they pointed out that Hogstye Bay is now crystal clear, as no ships, and the use of the buildings around the area has been reduced in as well. So
come on down on Sunday, the 21st of February, to Hogstye Bay and enjoy the water. Come down to the little beach and cove, enjoy some food and some good environment, and let's create some more memories. God bless you. Thank you so much, O.C.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bryan, for being here, folks. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate their word of charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by